How is the transformation from activism to partisan politics?
Well, you know, you and I have had this conversation before. My politics, or my entry into partisan politics and governance, is actually an extension of my activism. I don't see them as two compartmentalized segments of my life. One leads to the other, and there's no false dichotomy, precisely because the things that I fought for as an activist are also the things that are of compelling importance to me as a governor. A good life for our people, free and quality education for the young people, free qualitative health care, rural development, full employment for people in my state, and regional integration. Regional integration that helps us with economies of scale and utilization of resources available in this zone. So those are the issues. Fundamental human rights, of course. That's understandable that someone like me would have a passion for respect for human rights and dignity of person in government, and some of the things we've done have pushed on those frontiers. Anti-corruption. I came in, I ensured that I put in place the Fiscal Responsibility Act. I came in, I sent a Freedom of Information Bill to the House of Assembly. I came in, I was very, very concerned about the state of the civil service, and I started a civil service transformation agenda.
People are saying that as a very known activist, you contested election for several years, you were deprived of your seat, and you spend a lot of money, and you still end up declaring 750 million naira assets, with your deputy declaring 1.2 billion naira. Critics have even called it anticipatory looting, if you understand what they are trying to say there. Are you declaring above your income so you could fleet away funds or government funds?
Well, those who know me also know the kind of person I am. I have had it filtered to my hearing, and I have had cause to say to people that one of the problems I have with asset declaration in Nigeria is that it is private declaration of assets. I have taken the pain to declare my asset publicly and to publish it in newspapers, and I think by doing that I have invited scrutiny. I've invited critical commentary, which is fine, provided it does not portray me as a liar. If anyone is in doubt whether I have the assets I have declared or not, it's a different matter. They can find out. They have every reason to verify or even to challenge me that, look, you have mentioned this in this place, it's wrong. The other issue that I have, which is a problem with the mode of our asset declaration, is that it is a declaration of assets, it's not a declaration of liability, and it's false, because all you get to see is what I have on the basis of the value of what I have. You don't know if I have borrowed money and if I am still paying mortgage in England for my property or not. And I think that should happen. What have I declared? I've declared a house that I have in Ibadan. I have a house in London, which I've had since my days of living in London. It's not a recent development. I have a house in Atlanta. I have declared those three. My wife has a house in Accra where she lives. There is nothing unique about the properties or the assets that I have declared. What value they are worth was not necessarily the value they were purchased for at the time they were purchased, because the properties I have are properties that are increasing value, including houses particularly.
You fought for democracy. You risked your life. I remember we relate quite a lot during that period. And one of the hope people have is that you being a leader in the Action Congress of Nigeria, that you're going to help promote the issue of internal democracy.
Absolutely.
With all this controversy over imposition of candidates, Do we have hope that after this election there will be a review of what's going on in the Action Congress with the criticism coming?
Well, Kayode, political parties are by their very nature evolutionary, especially when there has been a break in their development. One of the damages the military rule did to us is that we did not have a continuous chain in terms of our political party developments. That has necessarily left us with parties that are not fully democratic. Even a country that is at best a civilian administration rather than a democratic government. But the process is evolutionary. That is why we cannot throw away the baby with the bathwater. There's never going to be a perfect period for people to come in or go out. But the more people that are democratic that are in it, the better it is for us to improve on it. And that is why I feel that whatever the inadequacies are, even in the Action Congress, we have quite a lot. We will be able to improve it the more people get involved in politics and the more enduring our political
I know you're quite busy. This issue is quite important. This election, well, everyone is in agreement among the progressives to get the PDP out. In case of a rerun, will you encourage talks between your party and the...
There's no question. I'm actually a member of the negotiating committee on behalf of my party with CPC, and we're clear about that. We've even put this particular election forward as the litmus test. Whoever carries the day between the two of us in this election, we will go into the next discussion fully ready to come together in an alliance that would endure for the benefit of Nigerians, because that's what Nigerians want and we must not fail.
Nítorí ìdí èyí kọ́ ẹ má bínú sí mi tẹ́ bá ní pé rí mi kí n máa ṣe bí àwọn kan tó wà ń bẹ̀ lánàá, àmọ́ kí ní kan lẹ sọ tí òkú ń bí òótọ́ o, gíláàsì mọ́tò mi o kò dúdú o, ẹ lọ wò ó, kò sí nígbà tí mo lè kọjá tí ẹ ní rí mi tí mi ò lè ní dúró, torí tiyín ni mo ṣe lọ yọ tíǹtì tó wà lórí lára gíláàsì náà kúrò kí n bá lè máa ráwọn èèyàn wa ni.
You're just too gentle to be a governor. They want someone who is going to sit down with them in the marketplaces, share food with them and have a feel of their way of life.
Well, there is that criticism. I have had it too, but I am who I am. They voted for me not without knowledge that I'm a different governor. That's why they refer to me as a yiyat or here. They refer to me as somebody who puts my experience and knowledge and exposure to use on their behalf. And I know that that is what is most important at the end of the day, because what will sell me is the extent to which I've been able to impact on the lives of every single individual in Ekiti. Fundamentally, it's not the number of times I have sat with them drinking ogogoro or eating boli on the roadside. That may be populist, and democracy is populism, but populism really never endures. It is so fleeting and so fast in disappearance, and we've seen that. History is replete with people who are popular, charismatic, but ultimately never made a fundamental difference in the lives of people. I want to be able to balance both. There are times I go out and engage them, not on a regular basis that a Fayose is, because I also know that our people want their leader to be a leader, not to be completely detached, but they also don't want you to be pedestrian. Your sales made in Ekiti. I'm not a lawyer, but I've been around lawyers too long. So,
with all the human resources Ekiti has got all over the world, you think they will be attracted with all these opportunities and come in to assist?
well, part of the issue is that they're not even aware of these opportunities, and that is why for us we take our diaspora community very, very seriously. We believe that they have a lot to offer us here in terms of expertise and exposure, and we know that we have the opportunities that are bound here. If it is land that they require, they can always get land in abundance. If it is extension services from government, we would also always support them, and a lot of them are showing more interest. A lot of them are seeing that this is a government they can do business with, because we don't want to run business. We want the private sector to do it, but we want to do it with them in partnership. We believe that a lot could be done, and a lot more of our people can get jobs if private sector modernized commercial farming is taking place here. And this is a sector in which we can excel.